Okay. Great.
Oh,
I think we are live,
mm.
and I'm going to pull up the chat here. So, welcome to the Empowered Light Leader Show. And I am hosting special guest Dina. And this is a show that I do weekly. You can watch this show on YouTube and my Facebook business page. And we always talk about empowerment and spirituality and how that affects us physically, emotionally, mentally. And today we have a special topic with Dina, and I'll introduce her in a minute. We're going to be talking about healing the healer and what that means. And if you're a healer yourself or you feel in need of healing, how that can help you in your own life. And we're also going to do a clearing, a live demo of energy clearing, and it's going to be a beautiful night. You can watch the replay. I myself am an energy healer as well, and I value the importance of self healing. We're going to talk about why it's so important, why healers need healing, energy healing in particular. So, with no further ado, let's bring on Dina. Dina and I have worked together before, and I love having her on the show. We have a lot in common. We're both light language healers. We're both artists. We both channel similar frequencies. So I'll kind of let Dina introduce herself and she can tell you what she does. And kind of maybe you want to share how you got into it if you like. And then we'll kind of talk about self healing and why that's so important.
Oh,
So, yeah. So what exactly do you do right now? You're doing light language healing, you're doing channeled art.
yep. And I am also creating intuitive art, late language workshops, experiences, basically, kind of
Oh, okay,
yeah.
cool.
So it's kind of a cross between a cacao ceremony and an intuitive art class.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, I'm actually on my way down to Virginia next week to do my first in-person one like this. And
Oh,
so
right.
exciting. Yeah, we're doing a late language interactive event. So that's one of the things I'm doing is I'm collaborating with other friends, soul family in the light language community to bring together people to express their light language, to bring, it's for us to learn more, do more calibration. But personally, in my practice, is about doing a combination of clearing light language activations and
Mhm,
art and soul activation art. So doing one-on-one sessions
mhm.
with people. That is combining the light language and akashic record reading with channeled art. So
Oh, wow, yeah, that's a lot.
it's a medley, and and it's been a lot of clearing and a lot of shadow work.
Oh, okay, yeah, shadow work is so important, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so yeah, so it's like the art. So it's interesting because I just want to um and please feel free to, like, bring me back into focus. So,
Yeah, totally. Just go with the flow, right?
well, the thing is, I feel like, 2 years ago it was maybe 2 or 3 years ago. What's time anyway? Around 3 years ago, I it started to paint again.
Oh, okay.
And it was around the same time I had a third eye opening. It was the same time that I was making a decision to change my life, change the way I view myself, change the way I talk to myself, change the way I want to view other people.
Mhm.
And I was like, what if I can combine healing and art? What if I
Mm.
use art for healing purposes for myself? And then show other people how they can heal themselves through art.
Yes. Yeah, but you had always been an artist up until that point, right? You
Yeah,
just never connected the 2 kind of?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, because
Yeah.
I didn't even know that I was an intuitive. I didn't even know what a third eye was before that was.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Like,
Okay.
kind of like a really interesting kind of, um I got my aquamarine here, um, to help me with speech, speaking my truth and all that. So
Yeah, that's
yeah, I
right.
mean, I've been an artist and I had all these really wild experiences, in college studying art. But the whole thing of being an intuitive and knowing that I'm an empath and any of that, nah.
Oh, so you had a really big awakening about 3 years ago. That's when all your gifts came in. Had you had any energy work done prior to that?
Um, I in it's like it's almost like boom, right? Um, not that I remember, not that I recall. It was like all of a sudden I was wanting to go to things. Uh,
Oh, okay. So your soul was kind of speaking to you. Yeah. So if we have people just joining us, we're talking with Dina, who's an energy worker, light language healer, and we're talking about energy healing and her kind of journey of how she opened up. So you had a feeling of having something, but you weren't fully awakened to it, in other words.
yeah, like I was starting to have a little bit of an awakening in my early 20s and like my when I was in college and after college when I was living in New York City, I was starting to have another awakening because that's when I started to get books like Celestine Prophecy.
Oh, okay. The Celestine prophecy.
Yeah,
Yes, I've
yeah,
heard
and then I guess I went back to sleep or something. I don't know.
happens. Yeah, because awakening is a process, right? It's not I think some people think it's like, "Oh, I awaken to gifts and then I'm doing all this stuff," but it's a layered onion, right?
Yeah,
It's
oh my gosh, yeah. And the art was kind of like a natural gateway, but I didn't even know what a channeler was, right?
Oh, yeah.
Um but basically, around 3 years ago, I started. It's funny because I was really, really working on my um isogenics, my network marketing business. I
Oh,
was
okay.
like working a full-time job and really working on, growing this network marketing, nutrition based, fitness based, feel good about yourself business.
Mhm.
But something was missing.
Oh, okay. So your soul, yeah. Yeah. And I felt that too. It's like you're going in the motions, but you're like, I feel like something's not quite right. There's more.
Right,
Right.
exactly,
Right.
and I was
Yeah.
oh god, I was doing all this, getting all this coaching, but there was this one event I went to that he was bringing in all this stuff about the energy and the meditation and the frequencies and
Mhm.
all this stuff, and, like, I'm like, "Huh," and it was talking all about, raising your frequency and, selling, but not selling, more about connecting, and
Oh,
well,
okay.
yeah, it was more about, really connecting with people and being authentic and who are you and and I'm like, "Oh my god." And so I came back from that and I was like, "Well, I got to start painting again because
Oh, so that really opened you up.
joy."
Yeah, and would you say that painting is a form of self-healing?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
any creativity really, right?
Yeah. And so that's kind of where my healing started was all of a sudden I guess I was being guided to paint what I
Mm.
feel, to
Aw,
uh,
yeah.
just express. And all of a sudden, I'm like painting butterflies, like really
Aw.
painting butterflies. And then it was like, ooh, I was writing all this stuff about energy and art and painting and
Mm.
just starting to connect, like, oh.
Yeah. This
And
is
so,
coming from somewhere else kind of a thing, like, this is not just me, this is more yeah, and that's similar because I had a similar experience. I started drawing people's spirit guides, and I didn't even really know what I was doing. I just knew that I could do it for myself. Like I could see things for myself and draw them. So then I just started doing them for other people. And it kind of just happened. Like I didn't even really fully understand what I was doing, but I knew it wasn't just me, you
Right,
know?
exactly. There was definitely something, and I wasn't even really aware quite yet that I was even a channeler, that I was channeling.
Right. But you knew it was something, like
It was
some guiding force, right?
something. And
Yeah.
it was, I mean, I think at that who knows? I mean, I kind of wish I would love to go back into that time place and be like, what is really
Mm.
happening here? But the healing was starting, and that was like a really big transformation that was starting. And it's funny, it's like when you think about things, sometimes we don't realize the importance of certain moments, right? Of
Yeah, when it's happening.
things.
Of
And
course. Yeah.
yeah, and I was making a decision to no longer feel like a victim anymore.
Ooh. Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I had that victim mentality, that kind of victim consciousness in my energy for a really long time, and
Mm.
I wanted to use the art, and I was starting to use the art through masks, through creating masks, and then before you
Mhm.
know it, I was being asked to do this event, to create these butterfly masks for a fashion event.
Oh, and the butterfly is transformation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was an event that was supporting, mental health awareness. It was for NAMI, what is it? National Alliance of Mental, Illness, something like
So
that,
you felt the art was helping you heal aspects of your personality that were in, like, victim?
Oh,
Can
yeah.
you
It
like,
was
can you explain how? Like, how did that
well, I was already kinda having an inkling of, like, I was seeing other people through the perspective of them hurting me. And all of a sudden, with the mask,
Mm.
I was starting to paint these masks. Actually, I have one here. Um, that I was like, wait, what if I were to look at this person as like what was behind the mask? What
Mm.
were they? Maybe they were doing things that they were just dealing with their own stuff, and the way
Mhm.
that it was communicated to me, um, I was taking it this way, but they were just having their own situation. And but like with painting the masks,
It allowed you to see through somebody else's eyes, like
yeah,
that like a different wow, that's really
yeah,
powerful.
yeah,
I have tingles on the top of my head from that. So
wow,
you were able to almost change your perception with whatever mask that you were
yeah,
painting or seeing through. Wow,
yeah.
it's pretty
And so
powerful.
it changed it, like my relationships with certain people started to shift a little bit because I was like,
So you shifted from like blaming to like, oh, there's maybe a reason behind it. So it's a different energy, right? It's changing your perception.
yeah, and how did this happen for me,
Right, right,
not
right.
to me?
Right. Yeah, like what's the lesson behind right, right, because that victim energy is very heavy, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And so
Yeah.
I came to realize that, when it came to a certain person, just from that one person of all this hurt that I had experienced with them, I
Mhm.
started to be like, well, what if what if they were in my life and all these things happened for me, and
Yes,
maybe, and that was around the time that like Gene Keys was starting to come into my life, human design was starting to come into
right.
my life. It's like, and that's the thing. It's like once you make a decision that you want to heal yourself,
Yeah, the teachers present themselves, the doors are open. Yeah, yeah. So you started seeing these people as teachers more in your life, and then it kind of opened. Maybe because also when that happens, right, our vibration raises,
yeah,
right? So
yeah,
then your vibration raises, and then you're attracting more opportunities because you're not as contracted or closed, right?
yeah, and you're
Yeah,
not looking through the eyes of like how everyone's
like
going to hurt
pain.
me, or everybody has hurt me, or who's are you
Right.
or
Right. And victim is a low, it's a very low vibration. Yeah.
yeah, and I think it's like, when you make a decision and you tell the universe, consciously and unconsciously,
Right.
consciously or
That
unconsciously,
you're
which
ready
is
for healing.
ready, it's like the
Yeah.
universe responds, right?
Oh my God. Yes. In unbelievable, miraculous ways.
I'm getting verklempt. I'm getting verklempt.
In ways that you can't even, like, you're like, oh, I asked for that. Like your whole
Yeah.
life.
Well,
Your
I was
whole
starting to go into, like, I put myself in this life. I mean, I chose this family.
Yes, yes, family. And I'd like to talk about that even further with you. So, since we're talking, thank you for those who are watching, tuning in, tuning out. But we're talking about healing the healer and special guest Dina, and she's a healer. We're both healers. And I don't know about you, Dina. I think we've talked a little as friends, but can you talk about challenging family dynamics that healers might have, or that why we have those, or
Um,
what are your feelings on that? Because
really going
I
to
have particularly challenging family dynamics, and I know a lot of light workers do.
Yeah.
And do you think there's a reason why we contract or come into that?
Yeah, I do.
Do
I
do you
feel
wanna
like it's this okay, so for example, one member of my family, I notice he's very much in his head and not in his heart. And there's a lot of fear in his field.
Mm,
And the way that there was a lot of control
mm,
and a lot of trying to control, like a kind of a back and forth, and
right.
so like the way that I received it was like trying to be controlled, and then to only later be like, no, I'm going to.
He taught he was teaching you something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like here's one way of living your life, right? And
Mhm,
but then you can learn about when you're open, you can learn about other ways, and not everyone's ways is your way. Like, I've been learning so much. I've been learning about, like, gratitude and how to accept these family members for who they
mm.
are and
And
where they're.
forgiveness, right?
Yep, and forgiveness. And, like, even last night I called my father and I was like, Dad, you did good. You did a good job with me. I just want you to
Oh,
know you
that's
did a good
nice.
job
That's
because
nice.
I think I said I feel him sometimes and I sense him,
Mhm,
and I see, like, I feel there's like a lot of guilt, a lot of shame, a lot of,
mhm.
questioning, and what I feel like that teaches me is I have a choice.
Oh, yeah, huge, yeah. You
Like,
have a choice of whether you hold on to it or let it go, right?
the choice of, where do I want to be led by my mind or my heart? Do I want to be
Right, be a victim or
controlled?
not be a victim, or
Right? Do I want to control other people and make other people feel a certain way? Or, like, there's just so many things I'm still learning. But then,
we all are.
it's just, I feel like it's showing an aspect that, like, when we're triggered, there's something within us to heal.
Oh my god, huge. Well, that's why the trigger presents itself, right?
Exactly.
So
And
we
at the
can
same
heal it.
right? And at the same time, it's like this coming into acceptance that, like, not everybody is going to get me, even my family.
Yeah, yeah, that is huge. And also, I think all of the healing that you do in your family, right, you're doing on the whole family line, right? I think a lot of us are here to heal the ancestral lines, and break that cycle,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
which is like a lot of work. It can be heavy, intense work.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's really interesting because I think that now we're at the point where, like, I mean, my grandparents they've all passed away. They've shown up to me. They've
Mine too.
all shown up to me and asked me for assistance
Mm.
and like for they weren't ready to leave. And that and like because they were holding on to something and then they were asking,
Oh, they wanted you to help cross them?
no,
Wow.
I'm talking they've been not alive in the living realm for over 30 years. So
Wow.
all this time, I thought they were in heaven, I don't know. I
Right.
don't even know anymore, like, I thought
Like
that
in
they
a
were
higher realm. Yeah.
exactly. And
Yeah.
oh, whoa, that was weird. I just saw an energy fly across the room. Oh,
Could have been one of your ancestors.
yeah. And the thing is, yeah, I mean, one of them came to me. Well, they were both there, and it was funny. It was in a practice for light language. I was on a phone call doing a light language practice, and in the middle of it, my grandfather shows up, and my grandmother then showed up. But my grandfather on my father's side was coming because he was asking for help to be, to because he was scared and but he also had a message and he was asking me to help clear the obesity that was running in my family. He was
Wow. Wow,
like,
so an ancestral clearing. Wow. Yeah.
yeah, I think I still have more work to do on that one. Um,
Yeah.
there's always something, and I think that's coming back to the theme of healing the healer. Um, I feel like we're not just healing for ourselves. I feel like we're also healing for the collective as well.
Yeah, that's a huge, and also I wanna add to that, that the whole reason why we're having this conversation is because if you wanna heal other people, right, you have to, right? You have to heal yourself. There's no way you can do that work or clearing work on others without doing it on yourself, right? It's not possible.
Well,
It's
yeah, I mean, also you want to be able to kind of feel into what you're doing and right and
right,
also
and be a clear vessel and a clear channel and let go of your filters and all of that and your triggers and your ego and how can you do that if you're not doing shadow work, if you're not doing ancestral clearing, if you're not doing all that stuff? It's I think it's also important. Do you think it's important to do frequent like energy clearings on yourself? Do you do that on yourself?
I mean, I feel like I do and I also feel like there's always gonna be more.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that's true. Yes.
Sometimes I'll like get up and I'll go grab a singing bowl and I got a new tuning fork, which I'm learning how to use.
Oh, good. That's awesome. I love
Use
that.
it. I'm like ding ding ding. But yeah,
Oh,
I feel
Angela's here. She said yes every day. Yeah, every day there's
yeah,
something.
every day. Thank you for watching. And
Yay, I love
those
her. I'm so glad
who
she's
need
here. She's from New Zealand.
oh, wow. Wow. Every day I would like to say that I do energy clearings on myself every day. I think I could be more intentional with that, right?
Yeah,
There's
I
a
think we all can,
like,
right?
yeah.
Our days sometimes get busy, and I think it's just important when you're not feeling right.
Yeah.
Um, what are the practices that you can do for self-healing, right?
Yeah, I do light language. I will just sit there and I
Yeah.
will sing to myself. I will like channel and set intention to clear my energy. I'll call in Archangel Michael. I'll call
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you said light language because I feel lucky. I feel blessed to be able to speak light language because I think it's an immediate way. Like,
yeah.
don't you feel when you tune into the codes and it's just like it's an immediate connection and clearing? Like,
Um, yeah. And it's just kind of like it's very self-empowering too.
oh
And
my God, yes.
it's like I can do this for myself. Like
Yes.
and
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I love receiving healings from other people. at the same time, like, with my toe, probably none of you know this, but like part of the reason why this topic came up too is because the other day I wasn't listening to all the cues that were saying for me to slow down and,
Oh,
and I was running
you
around
hurt yourself? You hurt your
and I
toe?
stubbed my toe, my foot so
Oh, that's
bad.
the universe telling you to stop.
And I've had many other stubbing of the toes, but this one was the mother of them all.
Oh,
This one looked broken. This one, I have a really big bruise on the top of my foot, right where like it meets the toes. The other day,
mm.
I couldn't even move my toes.
Aw.
So I'm like sitting here and I'm healing. And I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. I was even like doing Ho'oponopono to my toes and my foot and
Oh,
like
I love that.
to my
Yeah, lie in
feet, my
forgiveness
toes
prayer.
because I'm like, I'm sorry. I and I realized like it's like wow, at some point if we don't listen to the signs,
Right,
we're gonna get them so much harder. And that's what this lesson with the foot with this foot
right.
is it's like also slowing me down and I'm doing Reiki on myself and I'm like, oh, let me practice some Reiki on myself. Like,
Yeah, maybe it was a way of getting you to redirect healing towards yourself, right? A lot of times, I think a lot of healers I've noticed over the years, including myself, we tend to be the type of people that overgive and we want to give, give, give and help, help, help. And then we get drained, right? And we
yeah.
get drained and then we get sick because then it makes us redirect the healing to ourselves, right?
Ooh.
Oh, Fibonacci's here. So, oh, he
Hi.
says sage, cedar, frankincense, and myrrh, chanting,
Ooh.
yoga, oil lamps, earthing, fire, bath, all good for clearing. So, yes,
Is fire bath
absolutely.
is fire bath one thing? Like, is there a fire bath?
Oh, I don't know. Did you mean fire bath as one thing or bath separate? Maybe bath separate.
Oh, maybe the whole thing
Fire bath.
is
That would
free
be kind of
out of
cool.
fire
But
bath.
yeah, I take baths with Epsom salt. Excellent for clearing.
I
Yeah,
was giving myself a foot bath with Epsom salt, and I took a bath the other night. It was really magical. I was like, why don't I do this more? But
I
it was
know.
I was
Self-nurturing,
really,
right?
and I went up
Yeah.
channeling Hathor, and
Wow.
who else? Hecate.
Hecate, you said, yeah.
Yeah, and
My
ooh,
kids have a bath over a fire outside.
ooh, I like
Ooh,
that. Ooh.
wow, that sounds amazing.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. I wanna go take a bath again now. The only thing that sometimes
Mhm.
deters me from taking baths is, like, the whole process of having to clean it.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the human aspect, right? But I guess it's this, like anything else, the commitment, right, to self-care.
Exactly, exactly. I'm like, "You know what? I'm gonna give myself a bath, and I'm gonna clean my bathtub so I can give myself a bath." And it was so rewarding. I don't and it was so, so rewarding, but I do feel like, okay, there was this story that someone told me. And this is like an importance of why healers need to heal themselves is because if someone is a healer and they're going to work on other people
Mhm.
and they're not doing the clearing and the tending to their own healing, they
Mm.
could actually give someone the reverse of a healing and
Oh, that's
actually cause
interesting.
harm to someone.
That's interesting. I'd
Not
love to hear the
totally
thoughts of
clear.
people watching, what you think about that. Almost like they're kind of bringing their own stuff. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, so a friend of mine told me a story. She went on a trip and she went to this place and where they were gonna get all this, massage and a Reiki and stuff like that. And they wound up having
No fire
ooh.
bath. You stand in front of fire 3 minutes, front and back, aligning fire element in your body. Okay, so
I
you
love that. I needed
yeah.
to hear that, Fibonacci. Thank you so much. Whoa, I want to get myself in front of fire.
The fire bringing the fire dragon
Well, I
energy.
have a fire thing. I have a I have a thing about fire because there's something within me that needs to work with fire more. So that really resonates. I
Oh,
just
so that
gotta
was meant for you.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, so she had this experience. She was very compassionate about it, but she told me that she felt like the energy healer was talking about all her woes and all this stuff that was going on, and also doing Reiki, and it was a very unpleasant, she felt the energy. She felt the
She felt the other
non-gendered
person's energy.
energy, yeah,
Yeah.
and it was not a healing feeling that she was getting,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, that's interesting. I also think as far as like readers, like if you've ever gotten a reading,
yeah,
um, that sometimes when you get a reading from someone, you could tell it's their own filter.
yeah.
Um,
Oh, yeah.
like that you're like, "Wait a minute, this doesn't feel authentic. I feel like this is your own opinion." I
Yeah,
don't feel like you're actually channeling, or I don't feel I've heard that like watching The Rise of the Sun. Ooh, I love that.
ooh, I like that. I just got a tingle in my head.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I've had that actually. There was so, and then that's something where I pause when I'm doing readings, and I really am very like really work on intention more and more to be a clear channel.
I wouldn't want to see a healer that had more than me. You go away thinking, "What? Oh, more shit." Oh.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
I think it was a very awkward scenario how everything went down, but it stuck in my head about because it wound up being a learning experience. And so
well, yeah.
it wound up being a learning experience of also this girl, someone didn't it's a whole story. But the bottom line is sometimes things that happen for other people to learn from.
Oh,
And I think
completely.
that's what this was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, wow, I better check myself to make sure that when I go into a space that I'm coming in as a clear channel." And
Yes, yes, that's part of the work we do, right? Making sure that we're a clear channel, right?
exactly, and
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
session, I've gotten turned off by people that I've gone to when they're giving a session going into a lot of story about their own life.
Yeah, I've gotten that actually with therapists too. I've had therapists talk about their own life to me or their other clients. I think so, you bring up a really good point, Dina, because I think when you're a very compassionate person, people, even healers that you go to, they'll start like telling you stuff when you're supposed to be the client. Does that ever happen to you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think that that's a very good point because it's almost like we're so compassionate that we end up giving.
yeah. And it more yeah, and I think that sometimes like it sometimes it's more like they want it's more of an sometimes even maybe an ego thing of like maybe they just want to share their story because they think that their story is going to help explain what they're
Oh,
trying to
okay. That
say.
can be helpful. Yeah.
It all depends on where it's coming from
Yeah, the context.
because sometimes I like to use stories to explain, but or you know what I mean? Like it's like, am I talking just to hear myself talk, or am I talking to share something that's going to be
Right,
beneficial?
productive. Right.
Exactly. So it's really giving me more
Being
pause.
a clear channel is so important. Yes, it is. They're projecting their nonsense. You're
Yeah,
not
yeah,
presenting love and light. Oh, thank you for watching love. Yes, yes. A lot of people project, even healers, right? Like you have to really be in awareness of when someone's projecting. And that's why I want to add this because I think this is a great point, and I want to hear how you feel about this, Dina. I am very particular and choosy about getting healings and readings. I don't get them very often, even though I want them. I'm like, oh, I'm very, because I've had bad experiences and so I don't seek out my own healing
yeah,
unless I'm guided or somebody comes to me that I trust, because I've actually had people offer me healing and I'm like, I don't think I really guided to get healing from you. Has that ever happened to you?
I have had that, and I've also found that, like, I've had to really pull back,
Mhm.
because then I'm, like, getting too much of other people's energy is, like,
Yeah.
where's mine? Like,
Yeah, you have to be in
where's
your own
mine?
energy, right. Yeah,
Exactly.
and there's people I know who are constantly getting readings and healings, and I think it's too much, right?
I gotta say I was one of those people, and
It's okay.
I I was, like, constantly seeking, wanting all these
Yeah, I
reads.
think we all go through that phase, right?
Yeah, and part of it was, like, wanting me to part of it was, I think, if I'm gonna be really authentic, is some of it is I wanted to support a friend, so,
Yeah.
you know, but, or I just wanna see, "Ooh, let me get a reading," and then all of a sudden, I look back on all the time that I spent in all these readings, and I'm like, "Have I really done anything with any of this?"
Yeah, taking the time
What
to
am I
process, right, like, that's
right.
all those people who are constantly taking classes, but never taking the time to apply, right?
Yeah, like, I
Yeah.
took a dragon I did the Master Dragon Reiki course, so I have the 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm still processing on that.
Yeah, my god. If they don't resonate, it may not be good for you. Yeah, that's why you have to trust,
Yeah,
trust. I'm very particular with energy healers, even more so than readers, I think. I think just the more I
discernment.
go into what's up?
Discernment.
Yeah,
That's really good
discernment.
discernment, and I think
Yeah.
not everybody has that, the discernment to, I mean, they could be going through their own thing of just wanting. Go ahead, sorry.
No, no, you didn't interrupt me. I'm listening to you.
Sometimes I interrupt, but,
No, no, not at all.
I feel like
Yeah.
it's different because sometimes people are not getting the answer that they want. Oh my gosh. I Sometimes people want answers, but the answers have to come from within. And that's why I feel like healing, everyone taking responsibility for, like, the majority
Mm.
of their own healing.
Ooh, I love that. You brought up such a good point. Yeah, that's a great
Yeah.
point because
I think go ahead.
that's like when you're giving someone a healing, right? It's like, um, I can only give you as much as you're willing to receive, right?
Yeah. Well, it's really finding that balance of tending to yourself, empowering yourself, healing yourself, clearing yourself, and then going out and getting it from others, and then being able to integrate. And this is what I'm learning from, like, constantly out, being out, 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 out. I've learned a lot too. So it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, what do we leave people with in this? I think it's really about finding finding tools that work for you and being um not everybody wants to hear your stuff.
Yeah.
you
I think,
know.
I wanna read this comment. She says, "It can become a challenge for me considering I'm an empath." I think that's a good point.
Oh my god, yes. Where
Yeah.
sometimes you feel their excitement and you think that, like, their excitement is your excitement to work with them. And you think, "Oh, I'm excited to work with them," when maybe it's their excitement that you may work with them and that you
Oh,
may,
that's interesting. Yeah.
you know.
I've learned now to always follow the path of least resistance. Yeah, well, that's surrendering, right? Um, but
Yeah.
yeah, empathically picking up on other people's things without taking it in. I think that's a huge part of healing the healer, right? And there are so many people who don't know how to do that. I'm so surprised sometimes that people don't have boundaries. Th-
I
Like,
think a lot of people don't grow up with boundaries, or
yeah, they're
even,
not
like,
taught
they
that.
get to 30 and they never even heard the word boundary in their life. Like, that's the thing. A lot of our parents didn't know about boundaries, so how could they teach boundaries? But I think, like,
Right,
as
or people feel guilty if they say no or
Right, right.
Right.
I mean, I didn't really learn about boundaries until maybe 5 years ago, and I think I don't know, consciously, you know what I mean? Like, um, it's been a journey. I mean, finding out about all this stuff has been a discovery, and I think that's why there's such an empowered feeling into in healing yourself, or at least practicing working on yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you should
Honestly,
see.
I'm channeling my higher self, by the way.
Yeah, it's just a natural dialogue, but,
Thank
I
you.
think all of the boundaries thing and not, learning how to release guilt for saying no or that people pleasing. A lot of healers tend to be people pleasers, I think. Um, we tend
Mm,
to wanna give, give, give. Yeah, sick. I c I've been getting sick, when I give too much. And that's a hard lesson I've had to learn. I used to do healings where I'd heal 15 people, like, in a healing group, one after the other, and I'd be in bed for weeks. And I had to create boundaries, you know? I looked into my situation, said my body needed to catch up with the new way I was working. Yeah. So
mm.
I had a friend once say to me, she was a physical, like a fitness coach, and she said the amount of energy, like when you're channeling and you're doing energy work, you have to think of your body like an athlete. The same way
Yeah.
an athlete would take care of their body, you have to take care of your body. My cat's going nuts. I don't know what's going on. So very integrating what you learned. Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
integrating,
exactly.
that's right. Integration, recalibration, going into nature, right?
Yeah, I just feel like there's all this like spirals of integration. And it's like you
Yeah.
go, you pause, you
In
go.
and out of it, right? In and out of the spiral, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then
Yeah.
it's like, I mean, like, I feel like, yeah, this whole thing with my foot really caused me to have to slow down and uh really feel into what's happening. Like, and then I was feeling bad about myself for a moment because I'm like, I caused this. I didn't take
Oh, you felt,
responsibility.
yeah, yeah. I've had moments like that. Like I did this to myself. Yeah, that
Yeah.
self-blame. Yeah. But that,
Yeah.
I think that's part of just being human, right?
Exactly. And that's the other
Yeah.
thing is like, as you said, being compassionate to ourselves. And I call on Kuan Yin a lot. I actually
Yeah.
have this candle
Ooh.
dedicated for Kuan Yin, and I can actually light it right now.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say if you wanted to do any clearing now or anything like that, you're welcome to
Yeah,
share that, whatever you like to share.
yeah, I feel like a little light language.
Oh,
A
I would love that.
little
I'm
light
sure
language.
everybody watching would love that too.
Yeah. I feel like maybe Um, this could be a medley of different energies. So I'm just going to set the intention of only working, calling in the highest frequency energies that are going to flow through for clearing, for highest good and highest good of all, and bringing through also codes that assist with self healing. Illumination from within, activating what is already within each one of you that are tuning into this at your own pace, your own time. Tokurianai, shanai, ano nori, ai, ano, yo, no, yakaya sako, yasakaya no kotore, ai, akototore, akaya sa, wishi, anaya, nanaya, anaya. Hururururururiya nakaya sokuria ya iyasha ya kaya 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 katukuriya ka. Sokono no no ya na ya na ya 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 wa ya. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Booyakayasa.
Really nice, really lovely. I can't stop moving like this. I feel like Stevie Wonder right now. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, that was
I
really
was thinking
lovely.
the whole time while we were
I
talking.
know. I just feel so soothed right now. I feel so relaxed.
Well, that's what I feel like this is about singing, like toning. I feel is very healing. Just toning. It doesn't have to sound like anything.
Yeah, just letting whatever needs to come out and be cleared and just
Yeah,
asking, and light language is such a beautiful tool to use that way. You can set an intention behind any codes you bring through. I set the intention to bring in codes of clearing in there, so it is. And then it comes through, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I also like to call on crystals. I also like to work with crystals. Um,
Do you
I
feel like there are any crystals that you want to? Oh, okay. There we go. The dragon,
calcite.
calcite dragon.
Yeah, I just got her from I bought it from Audrey, my friend
Oh, Audrey.
Audrey Parsiani. She is from the light. She is some dragon she just got, and I saw this one, and I was like, I gotta
Wow,
have.
I can feel the energy of that, and I do hear some light language coming in as well.
Oh yeah,
Um,
ooh,
yeah, very much appreciate, she says. Do you wanna bring in some, dragon light language? Should we do that?
yeah, yes.
I'll bring in some after you if you wanna go. Gonna connect to bring in some, and the dragon energy can be very clearing as well, so
Mm.
I think it's good energy to bring through.
Akanikia shokuriaka andikia andukiriaka ishiaka yaka undiki akodo yashikinyaka andi ya shiyaka undiki ande ya waka andiki anjakato iya ishinyaka ta iyako wa ishaneki ya wa yaka wa. Yakanshiki ondokinya ondokunya yakori kaishiki anakata yaka.
Nice deep breath, very nice. Felt a nice release. I'm gonna go ahead and bring in some as well. Just make sure my computer's plugged in.
Mhm.
Sikir thasir sosa. She samatha. She samatha. Sorski.
Mm.
Sorda. Araste. Sordka. Araste. Sordka. Very nice.
Yeah, I felt that.
Sometimes when I bring in the dragon energy, I feel kind of Celtic energy too. I don't know if you ever feel that.
Yeah, I work with the Celtic dragons a lot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I kind of just felt that, like almost feel like Lord of the Rings kind of vibes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, love
Oh,
the dragons. Yeah, me too. Yeah, very clearing and that fire dragon energy. Yeah, sometimes I feel like it's like that the breathing of the fire. It's so clear. Um, so we're almost out of time. We had a wonderful time. It went by so quick.
no, I did feel the fire dragon as well, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And that energy is always with me. I feel like it's a part of me. Um, you know.
Ooh. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Well, this was so much fun. Can we do this again?
Yes, we'll do this again. I love bringing Dina on. We've done events together. We're gonna do another event in
We
April.
are. We are.
Yeah, this one's gonna be about creativity, connecting to the child within, right? I think Dina and I both have a similar vibration of innocence and art and connecting through innocence with art. We're gonna do more of a workshop type thing.
Yeah,
Keep you
I'm
posted.
excited.
Yeah, we're gonna get the date on that soon. And as always, this is a forum to promote yourself. So just let everybody know. I'm gonna put on let's see,
Oh yeah.
contact info. It's in there, her contact info. Both of our contact info is here, and it's also in the comments. Um, you can reach out to Dina for she does readings, she does channeled art, she does a lot of workshops as well. I know she's always doing workshops. Um,
Yeah. I am. I have this event coming up next weekend in Virginia, Salem, Virginia.
oh, cool.
And it's going to be a light language interactive retreat. And so that one I'm really excited about. And
Oh,
this
that's cool.
weekend, yeah, this weekend I got a live going. We're going to be doing healing art, and that is in Sayuna Stay, which it's on my link tree.
Oh, okay.
It's on
Yeah, I
my
remember
link.
you saying that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
say
Yeah, so go to her link tree, you'll see the links for that. If you go to mine as well, I have a free PDF I created, the top 10 ways how to remember your light language. So you can grab a copy of that as well.
ooh.
And yeah, feel free to reach out to us. I feel kind of out of it right now. Like,
Okay, it's okay. I think we came and had a great conversation. Thank you
yeah.
so much, everyone, for watching.
Yes, thank you, Angela. That you're welcome for the dragons. They're always with us. Thank you, everyone. I have my YouTube people that are always tuning in, and I love you all so much. I love that you're with me and that you come and you watch. I appreciate that. I
It's
appreciate you.
so beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, it really is. I feel blessed, and I feel blessed to know you,
I
Tina.
love
So,
to know you. We were
yeah,
brought to be together, so more.
yes, and I'll be back next week with another guest. So I love you guys. I'll see you soon. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, evening, whatever time it is by you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.